your host, Rudy the Foodie.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Welcome to another episode of Flavor Down South. This is Rudy the Foodie, and I'm excited. I'm excited for this episode because I got a savvy business owner right on Bayou Road in New Orleans, Louisiana. But first and foremost, like we do every show, Flavor Down South is a powerful and unique podcast that influences, entertains, and educates about hospitality industry culture, history, and news that connects people down south. The goal is to expand and build an engaging relationship with an audience who enjoys culinary and hospitality underdog stories. And if you hear a phone ringing in the background, that's because we're live in the restaurant. We're at Addis, NOLA on Bayou Road in New Orleans, Louisiana. And we got my guy, Prince Lobo.
That's right, Lobo.
Lobo.
That's it.
So we got
Wolf in Spanish.
Wolf in Spanish. So our special guest today is Prince Lobo with Addis, NOLA. Did I say that right? How do you pronounce it?
Addis. You gotta put a little bit of chest in. You gotta put a little
Yeah.
So when you said Addis, NOLA.
Okay, all right. So
That's what you gotta do.
Addis, NOLA.
That's it. That's
Okay,
it.
all right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I hear people say it, and sometimes it's Addis, so I just wanted to make sure. But welcome, man. Welcome to the podcast. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since we've been together. I think the last time was the International Foodie Fest, that whole deal.
That was great. That was a great experience too.
Yeah.
I'm glad we could get back, man.
And so this is year
4. We
Yeah.
actually make 4. We make 4 years. What next week? Come on, we here.
Okay,
Come
so
on.
you're
You
on
got a buzzer?
anniversary.
You got a buzzer button?
I do, but I can't find it right now, man.
We
don't
got-
ask me to do nothing on this board right now. No, I got it, though.
We'll
I
do
got
the voice
Yeah.
things. And if anybody ever says Addis, NOLA,
Right.
or Adidas, NOLA, immediately stop what you're doing. If you got a baby in your hand, put the baby down. If you're getting groceries, you know what I mean, go back, immediately stop that person and let them know if you don't say it with your chest, don't say it at all. You know what I mean? Make the ancestors proud with this. Make them feel the voice. Make them feel the strength. The Black Panther. Addis, NOLA. They gotta feel it, man. That's first and foremost. User discretion advised. We found the buttons. We got the buzzer button. Let's go. Come on. Yeah.
Bam,
Blow.
baby.
There we go.
Addis, NOLA.
Yeah.
I got it, bro.
We here.
So real quick, special announcement. We are sponsored by Dave & Buster's out of Houston, Texas, 7620 Katy Freeway. If you're looking for a happy hour, late night happy hour option, Dave & Buster's down in Houston, Texas, Sunday through Thursday from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. You can get half-price cocktails, $1 off a beer, glasses of wine. And if you're getting hungry, you can use special code DNB Houston FDS to enjoy 10% off appetizers and desserts. Again, that's DNB Houston FDS to enjoy 10% off of appetizers and desserts. And we definitely thank Dave & Buster's. I'm tongue-tied. Where you can eat, drink, play, and watch sports. Again, the address is 7620 Katy Freeway. And look, without further ado, we're gonna jump right into it. So this restaurant is a Black family-owned restaurant.
That's right.
Right?
Yes, sir.
One of the only 2 Ethiopian restaurants in Louisiana.
Well, 3.
It's
you know
3
what I mean?
now.
They got some turf beef that we're not gonna speak about today.
Okay, so we got
I'm joking,
beef?
I'm joking.
Okay, nah,
No,
okay.
but no, it's not. That's besides the point. There's another. The goal for us was to open and to inspire other people to feel like to bring that African, their influences and their experiences that they lived in their life, to bring that to New Orleans, because that's what you do.
Sure.
When you make food, you're bringing your life experience. You're bringing, you know what I mean, your perspectives, your creativity, and we hoped that we would get other people who open. So now there's, I think, 2 more Ethiopian spots that are opening, if I'm not mistaken. There's other Senegalese, other African restaurants that are opening in the States as well too. So in New Orleans specifically.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
That's thank you for clarifying that. When I did my research, I saw 2, so it's 3.
Yeah, 3.
All right,
yeah,
well, good,
yeah.
good. Welcome to New Orleans, those other ones. But how are you doing, though? For real. Now, don't give me no, like, I need it. Because, look, relocation.
Right.
You got a lot going on.
Right.
How you doing?
I mean, I feel great.
Okay.
It's a beautiful morning. I think our philosophy in this space, first and foremost, is if we're here, if our doors are open, then that's a recipe for success in itself. Obviously, there's things that need to go right in order to run one of the most difficult things to do on the face of the earth is running a restaurant business, hospitality business. First and foremost, let's let that be known.
Let's shout out to all the restaurateurs.
Yeah, I mean, easily one of the most difficult and challenging things to do. Why is that? Because we're taking care of people, and people are not easy. As human beings, we're not the easiest people to deal with. So it can be very difficult. It will be extremely challenging at many points, but it's extremely, almost as equally, if not more, rewarding. Not financially, because the returns in the restaurant business aren't the best, but it rewards you in the sense of like just feeling good about taking care of people in the community, and everything of the source. But I think it's been great. Being on Bayou Road, it is in fact the first road in New Orleans. It was here for trade, for the indigenous people and trade. The Choctaw were here. They even say the Senegambian and the West African were here trading indigo before European colonizers had arrived and taken over much what is made, or what had this city absolutely fantastic before the fact as well too, right? When the city was called Bobanka, they used this road to get from the Pontchartrain or from the swamps to get us to the Mississippi River, in fact. So Bayou Road is the first road, one of the most historic roads in New Orleans before it actually becomes the city of New Orleans that we know it for.
Wow, what a great place to call home.
Come on now.
That's great, man. So who is Prince Lobo?
That's a great question. I don't think I get to ask myself that question enough. Prince Lobo is a young African man who was brought to America to find his queen and bring her to Zamunda. No, that's usually always my answer whenever people ask. Actually, I do introduce myself. You catch me.
Hilarious.
I mean? I come with the voice of the African. Because you cannot tell which one is the first one. Is it my accent? Is it? Besides the point, I don't think that's defined by anything. I think that's one thing about, this is another thing about being a man, is like, we're not necessarily defined by any one thing, or else we become one-sided. We become one-dimensional and expectable in moments where we need to do things in order to accomplish tasks. In the restaurant business specifically, we have to be sometimes chameleons, other times really, you'll say, a thermostat, something that can set the temperature in the space as opposed to a thermometer that only reads and reacts to temperature. So I think Prince Lobo, as he is in a very simple way, is kind of this ever-changing evolution of love, of black love, of wanting to see other people be successful, and being honestly always surrounded by other people in the forms of love, like Mr. Robert, who's doing a fantastic job sweeping and cleaning the restaurant that you're hearing move chairs.
I love it. I love it. Shout out to Robert.
Shout out to Robert, man. He's doing his stuff. So really, Prince Lobo, beyond that, y'all got a deeper sense of me, is just a creative young African man who just wants to see everybody succeed, want to see us love, and really want to see and highlight black cultures, black history, because it was taken away from us. Period. We didn't have the luxury or the opportunity to know who we were. Who we were as people, which means who we are still to this day. To this day.
Talk about it.
You know what I mean? So that's really, really another deep thing of why Addis NOLA is where it is, and why I think we'll be here for another 100 years, because we'll never stop, connecting our people back to the source, back to the roots, back to the motherland where we come from, and just sharing that love with the rest of the people.
That's amazing, man. Listen, you couldn't have said it better yourself. So, a little bit about you, but tell us about your family then, because as I was reading on your website, I believe it was your mother who had this idea. Whose idea was it to open a restaurant?
Oh, she had the premonition, man. I think my mother, she's one of those women who she just has mad insight, really deeply connected, spiritual woman. And I give gratitude and a lot of gratitude and gratefulness to her for having that vision, going to sleep and literally waking up one day to feeling like, you know what, New Orleans needs this.
That's great.
New Orleans deserves this, full of black culture, full of everything beautiful about New Orleans is black. But guess what? 60% black city, 40% ownership, 2% receipts, 2% collections of receipts. That's a disparity, man.
It is a disparity.
Come
on, talk about it.
So
then.
when we having these conversations, we really dig into the roots. So understanding those things, that in my mother, that was, as a professor at Southern University for the last 12 years, whenever we opened, she just knew that the city needed this love, really needed, another space that our people can call home, that we can come and enjoy. So that's a good gist about her, man. She's inspirational. She's adorable. When you see her walking, you see her. You
I
just
think we
fall
caught
in
a
love
glimpse
with
of her. I think she did a passerby.
Yeah, that's her
Yeah,
thing.
she came and checked on everything, and then she got on out of here.
That's
so.
her number. You know what I mean? You can get a lot of walkthroughs. You know what I mean? She get paid for the walkthrough.
Right, exactly. So with that idea, with that, that concept, hey, let's open up a Ethiopian restaurant. Let's connect the countries, the cities together. Right. How did that name come about?
Well, that's what it was, right? That's a literal an embodiment of that. Addis is the capital of Ethiopia. The word is Addis Ababa. It actually translates to new flower.
Okay.
Right? So when we talk about this, and she came up with the idea, we had a conversation. She said, you know what? New Orleans needs this. We need to make this happen.
So a new NOLA.
That's right. And so when you put Addis and NOLA together, it's a new New Orleans, right?
A new New Orleans, okay.
Yeah, moving
All right,
forward.
so we're going to call this episode a new NOLA, hitting community gym.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Bang. Bang, 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 bang.
See, I'm off it. Getting better.
There we go.
I'm getting better. No, man, that's all good stuff. Because look, we both know that New Orleans is saturated with restaurants.
Right.
Right? I mean,
1,500.
And listen, I mean, everyone has their place, but at the end of the day, y'all niche is something special, man. Tell us about just the concept, how the menu all came about. Just how did that all flow?
Well, I think you touched on a good point because, we said 40% black ownership in the city. New Orleans, I think, has upwards of 1,500 restaurants.
No, it does. Well, when you count, so you got
Hours.
So you got to count food license, right? So that's gas stations, that's convenience stores. So when you look
gas
at
stations putting out
when you look at the health inspection licenses, yes.
Okay, 1,500. And so, with that being said, to talk about digging into the concept, is like, even if a person ate at a new establishment with a license every single day, it would take them, 5 years?
Yes.
Or something of
It's
the
impossible.
sort.
Yeah.
It would be literally impossible. So in New Orleans, if you have something, you have a concept, you have a dream, you have to make it stand out. You have to do and bring something that's unique to you and your experience and then connect that with the people. And so
Right.
that was always what it was like, for me, my goal in this, with my mother being the person who had that vision, who woke up with that inspiration, it was like, how do we take all of that love, that embodiment of wanting to give back, and then bring that and put that into communicate that product to the people? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do we make it in a way that they can receive it, enjoy it, indulge in it?
Yeah.
Even in that sense. And so that is kind of what I do. That's what one of my biggest driving factors when we first opened was like, we got to separate ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're not your everyday Ethiopian spot, because even in New Orleans, there's only 3. In Louisiana, there's only 3. But you go to L.A.,
Yeah, it's
they
everywhere.
done cut the ribbon last week, I think, for a little, you know what I mean? The
Yeah.
super, little Ethiopia. Same thing in D.C., same thing in, you know what I mean, Houston. But why how come New Orleans hasn't seen this influx of, cultural foods that maybe, you know what I mean, that we haven't been exposed to?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree. Even the West African, the Haitians, all of it. All of it had influence on New Orleans before, what you see now. So with that being said, how did you get your start though? Were you in the restaurant industry before? How did you figure it all out? It had to be, opening up a restaurant is tough, man.
Sure.
So what's the magic wand? You got to give us the sauce.
Yeah, I mean, you got to put your heart into it. That's all I say. But really, I think what it was just our team. I mean, our family. That structure is one of the greatest things. And you see, we can say it in America right now. Everything that we see that exists that is super, super, super successful, guess what? It's a family. Period. There's no way around it. It's a family. Walmart is a family. All these other places are families. And so in the restaurant, we knew that our key was going to be our strength, was our family. We had to stick together.
Right.
I gave up what I was doing. My father, this man is a scientist. This man is a vet and a mosquito biologist.
Wow.
This man could create a CDC for an entire country damn near on his own.
Wow.
But he chose to be here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He chose to be here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's about to make me tear up, man.
No, man. Shout out to your dad, man. Shout out to your family. Listen, I think the sacrifices, what people don't know, is what it costs to get that one plate to the table, right?
Sure.
And so the many sacrifices that it take to keep this going is why it's important that, we patronize and we visit and we we send people here. We talk it up as much as we can. It's one of the reasons why we're doing this show now.
Right.
Is to make sure we keep the conversation going. So that's fitting, man. So what excites you most about the industry now that you've been in it 4 years? What excites you most? What are you looking forward to? What do you think the current state is?
I think it's opened up. I think that the floodgates have opened right now. If you're in New Orleans and you have an idea, if you have a concept, you have something you want, just do it. You know what I mean? I feel like this is one of those cities that uniquely, somebody described it to me yesterday, it's full of love, man. It's really full of love on all aspects, at all capacities. And if you create something that people, that you enjoy and have your heart into, there's no question that the city will enjoy it as well, too. I think that's one of the things that we are right now. And really, I think the people who are in the city, not people who are coming from out the city, the people who are in here, if you have something you want to do, if you really have your heart behind something and you want to see something being brought or birthed into, right now is the time.
Yeah.
I think it's opened up. We got Dakar, you know what I mean? Serene, one of my best friends. We got Chef Charlie, who just opened his brick and mortar. We got Torre Folks, who helped us open the bar, Superstar, and is at the ACC, Andrew Caillou Center, that just opened.
Nice.
A Black Performance Art Theater that just opened.
Nice.
We got, I don't know if I could drop this, but somebody very special coming across the street very soon who also has a wine shop on Magazine Street. If you know, you know. We got Whiskey and Sticks. We got Fruit Orleans on the street. It's like, it's opened up so much right now.
Yes, sir.
On all levels. And I think, it's just time. It's just time, man, to take back over the game. And this is a message to all our people out there. It's time. Whatever you do, whatever you got your heart into, your ancestors are depending on you, and the people after you are depending on you to really shine and be who you're supposed to be. You know what I mean? Every sacrifice, every hand, arm, leg that went into your birth, into your existence, your living existence, is pushing and shining and striving for you to be, forever eternally successful.
Man, you heard Prince, man. We shining and thriving on Bayou Road.
Come on.
So look, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna be right back with Prince Lobo as he tell us about Addis, NOLA, Addis, NOLA,
Bloom, bloom, bloom.
and all the Ethiopian food that we can look forward to.
Woo!
You're listening to Flavor Down South. If it's Southern culture, we're talking about it. Now, back to your host, Rudy the Foodie.
And we're back just like that. We got my boy Prince Lobo with Addis, NOLA, and we're talking about Ethiopian food culture. We're going to talk about the French Quarter Fest. But first, let's touch on something that I think that's really important as we talk about sustainability, right? So you guys are part of the Urban League Black Restaurant Accelerator Program. Tell us about that program and what it has meant for you guys.
Urban League, they do amazing work, first and foremost, to really highlight and amplify Black voices and Black concepts around the city that are really doing the work, the work that we're doing and other work, and finding ways to get access to resources, grants, and all those amazing things that you need in order to really help push a business to be successful. So big shouts out to them. And Classy Duncan, really been on my side through that whole process. They gave us, we got a grant from them. I think it was 10 or 15, if I'm not mistaken, thousand. And that was a really big push. I mean, we did a crazy transition from closing the shop, spending 10 days of trainings nonstop, to opening in 2 weeks.
Nice.
Taking a spot and moving to within 2 weeks. So, so people could stay, had the food. And their grant, that fund that we got from them was a really huge resource to that. And I still have access to resources as I'm starting another brand, the Ethiopian honey wine, the Prince's wine, the Prince's Tej. Still working with them to find other ways to get support and really keep pushing these things through.
Yeah, that's great, man.
know?
And so how important you think it is for companies like the Pepsi Foundation, right, to invest back into communities of color, especially culinary and hospitality underdogs, so folks who may be under-resourced?
Right. No, I think it's huge. I think, it really is a game changer. It makes that difference, to feel and know that other people are supporting you, that other people are behind you, that other people really have your best interests. Like, it's invaluable whenever you have that, especially doing something as challenging as this is.
Right.
It's really invaluable,
Yeah.
to have the Urban League doing what they're doing and having great people like Classy and everybody else who's involved with that organization. For example, Mark, of course, Mark Morio.
Yep. He loves New Orleans cuisines. Just if you're in New Orleans, He supports it. So
Right.
So that's great, man. So what advice would you have for young entrepreneurs who's looking to open up a brick and mortar, right? What what advice you have? You know,
I'm just smiling hard right now because usually the first thing that I always hear, or not I always hear, but that has been in conversations when people ask me, not younger people obviously, but adults. When adults ask me, I say don't do it. Why? Because you gotta be willing to fight that fight. You gotta be willing to have that uphill battle.
Yeah.
And if your heart's not in it, don't do it.
Yep.
But if I could tell you not to do something and you're as stubborn and hard-headed enough to still go after it, then you're meant for it.
Yep.
Then you're meant for it.
You
You know
definitely
what I
gotta
mean?
have tough skin.
So that's one of the things that I usually say it as a joke to a lot of people, but a very serious joke, like, yo, if you don't think that your heart's in this, if you don't, you know what I mean? If you're not willing to fight those fights, if you're not willing I mean, not even just me, like I said, that my father that I described, this person who has the capability to do damn near anything that he wants in his mind. He's in there scrubbing dishes when you know what I mean? When we need to. He's in there cleaning, doing things that that normal people wouldn't even do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so you kind of have to have that grit. You have to have that type of you have to be kind of cut from a different cloth in many senses of the word.
Absolutely.
To do it. So if you feel like you come short upon any of those standards or any of those boxes, save yourself a lot of stress.
Yeah.
And pursue another career, please, because there are a lot of things that will give you a lot more money for a lot less effort.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's just that simple. Like
Absolutely.
At the end of the day. So
What a great answer, man.
Yeah.
That's really authentic. That's the truth.
that's true. That's facts.
That's facts,
don't
right?
don't.
Yeah. So look, in this part of the show, man, we want to talk about the cuisine, man. We want to talk about the influence of the culture. I know we're coming up on. You guys are gonna participate in the French Quarter Fest.
Hell yeah.
Right. They're celebrating their 40th. You celebrating your 4th.
That's right.
Right. So it's an anniversary. It's a party all the way around.
Come on.
So we all know that the French Quarter Fest is one of the largest free festivals in North America, right?
Right.
Pretty much. It's massive. It's huge. There's a lot of local bites that people are going to be able to take part of. What are some of the things that you guys are going to offer, and what can we look forward to from Addis NOLA?
I mean, we're going to come out with it. You know, we always bring the energy wherever we go with our team. Blaze pops in the bag, putting together some of the most delicious food that you will have an opportunity to put your hands and grace your eyes upon at the French Quarter Fest. We come with the world's best hand pie, meat pie. We call it a sambusa in Ethiopian culture, but that's going to rock your world. Come with a sauce, a sweet awaze sauce. Awaze is red wine, 15 spice blends that get sent from our family back in Ethiopia. Olive, all these different things that come together to make this sauce, and then we glaze it with a little bit of our local honey, or a little bit of our honey. It's not always local, but a little bit of our honey over it to make this sweet awaze sauce. And because that's so good, and it's going to be served on the side of the hand pie, the world's best meat pie, that we also serve at the restaurant, we're also going to take some chicken quarters and then glaze them in that sauce as well too, so you could just bathe in it. You know what I mean? Just really indulge into it. We'll have a very limited portion of shrimp that we'll also have.
It's nice.
For people to experience something kind of more exclusive. It'll be a little bit higher price point than French Quarter Fest. But yeah.
So I see the staff dropped off. Can someone bring that plate over? It's a great opportunity for folks to see the wonderful offerings over here on Bayou Road. And look, this is the culture, right? This is the cuisine. So what influenced Ethiopian culture?
First and foremost,
cuisine. I'm sorry.
Cuisine. I think it taps back into what we spoke about earlier. Was the love.
First of all,
come on.
We talking about flavor down south.
That's right.
Lord have mercy, that smells amazing.
I mean, you can smell it as soon as it hits the table. Look, you to get a close up on that one.
Man, so okay, so what's the influence?
I think it's about what we spoke about earlier. What I said earlier is really love.
Yeah,
I think, and that's one beautiful thing about Ethiopian culture that makes it very unique. In many senses of the word. You gonna grab this for me right quick, sir, or grab that one right there. Yeah, there you go. In many senses of the word, one of the things that make Ethiopian culture unique and really deeply rich and special is the love.
Yeah.
When you get into the food, when you look at the food, we got the dorwat, the national dish of Ethiopia, 24 hours of love invested into that dish just to have a sit-down bite to enjoy those flavors Then you have the honey glazed shrimp, the marmite shrimp. One of the things that we'll have kind of a variation of that at the French Quarter Festival as well, too.
Okay.
The honey and then the veggie combo, 6 different vegetables prepared in many different ways: greens, cabbage, carrots, beets, green lentils, yellow split peas, red lentils. I mean, it's literally a physical representation of love on a plate. You know what I mean? And then, and you see the circular aspect. Everybody's getting around.
Everybody's getting, yeah. And so talk to us about that, because one of the things that we do know that we forget your forks.
Come on.
You know,
That's right.
we don't use forks in here, right?
Nah.
So what are we using? We're
using the hands. We're getting into it with our hands. We designed a really beautiful hand washing station in the restaurant. I think one of the only in the city of New Orleans. Let's put that out there. To get into the food with Ethiopian food with your hands. And why are you eating with your hands, right? We talk about Ethiopia being one of the oldest cultures on the face of the earth. We talk about at least 2,000 years.
Yeah.
We talking about King Solomon. My goodness. We talking about Queen of Sheba.
Come on.
And when and we're eating the way that they ate. So when we take this injera bread, we ain't selling nothing, man. It's the truth. Come on. When we eating with our bread, we breaking bread. You know what I mean? We eating the way that our ancestors ate thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. Ethiopia was uncolonized, never taken over by European colonizers. So we're celebrating 2,000 years of black history.
Yeah, family and friends. We're feeding each other.
Come on. And then we even got a thing where it's called a gersha, where you take a piece of, and we about to start getting y'all with these gershas, because y'all gonna learn that at Addis NOLA. You actually take a morsel of food and you feed your brother, your sister, you feed them.
It's very intimate.
Man.
It's very intimate. And it's a sign of respect, right?
And love.
And love, yeah. So for folks don't know about the injera, right? What is it made out of?
Injera is, like we said, a 3,000-year-old grain called teff. And teff translates to the Amharic language in Ethiopia, which is the national language, to lost. The grain itself is so small, if you held it in your hand, it's like sand. You'll lose, actually, the grain itself. So the bread itself is used from that, which is gluten-free, meaning it's good for the gut and the body. We ferment it. That's why you see the texture, the flavor, the softness of this magical bread. It takes 3 days. Very difficult to master, in fact. But yeah, so.
Wow, no. And look, man, I'm looking at it. Everything is well plated. It smells amazing. And I have to ask, the profile of Ethiopian food is very distinct. What are those flavor profiles made of? I know you said a little bit about the spices that you get back from home, but again, tell me what are those flavors? What contributes to that?
Well, like you said, that berbere spice is huge. It's very integral in everything that you see in Ethiopian food that's generally red, has this 12 spice blend that you can expect to taste in the flavors. That's chilies, cayenne, paprika, allspice, ginger, fenugreek, garlic, and I think that's only 6 or 7. There's 15 of those in this dish to be enjoyed. So that's one of the really big flavor things. The other thing is obviously religion. In Ethiopia, they're Orthodox, meaning that they fast. Like right now, it's fasting Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Okay.
And throughout the year, it can be 100 days where they don't eat no meat at all.
Wow.
Though they are meat heavy. And so that's why you also see a lot of stews, a lot of slow cooked stews, the peas, the lentils, the greens, and a lot of veggies, really making it, I think, top 8 healthiest types of cuisine to consume, probably higher than that now, to consume in the world, right? So Ethiopian food is everything. It touches every range. Usually besides seafood, because they don't have water, but a lot of the flavors are stews, sautés, like just these delicious.
And listen, the flavor is coming at me.
Come on.
Like it's sitting right next to me, but I can smell every flavor on that plate. So that's great to know. So Addis NOLA, French Quarter Fest, what's your location?
We're going to be right in front of the aquarium. You know, we making it happen right on the riverfront, man. We there. We going for it. You know what I mean? So y'all get ready. It's going to be a show. We're going to have a great time. Y'all be lucky. I know there's going to be a stage, but y'all be lucky if we don't bust out with the Afro beats and just turn it into a party, man. 4 years. It's going to be big. So
Second year at the French Quarter Fest?
Second year. We were about a mint last year. It was a beautiful way to get started, but now we're ready to bring it out.
Any hard lessons to share from the first year?
Get your ass ready. That's it. That's all I can say. Be ready. Stay ready. Because it's going to have
ready,
challenges.
You don't have to worry about getting ready.
Stay ready. You don't got to get ready, and always be prepared for challenges. So be ready and be prepared to make changes in any last moments. If you need to make changes,
adaptable,
you got to be able to make changes quickly, very quickly.
So man, look, you wanna share anything else about the beautiful location? I know you guys are getting ready to open. And we want to respect all of the guests that might be waiting, right? But is there anything else you want to talk about before we close?
I will say this one right here. Thank you. I mean, I'm grateful to be here. First and foremost, we're going to run it back. We over here at Addis, NOLA, one of the oldest cultures, black cultures in the face of the earth, breaking bread with friends and family, feeding each other, inspired and brought together by the love of black culture and untapped black culture in the world. It's an honor to serve this food. It's an honor to be a part of this New Orleans economy, to contribute at all levels. And every time you come here, we want you to be felt with that love whenever you get a chance to be here. Family-owned establishment. Everybody who works in here is a part of our family.
Nice.
So we want y'all to really be a part of this because we're going to be here for another 100 years at least.
I hear that.
And just bringing the love to the city.
So drop that address, man. Where can people find Addis NOLA on Bayou Road? What's the
over
address?
Here, 2514. We by the Community Book Center. We on the block, 2514 Bayou Road. Manny's out here with Fruit Orleans as well too. Come here, make it an experience, and just enjoy the city, this neighborhood, and what all it has to offer. The first road, and what we call is the Black Bayou.
There we
is
go.
What we call on the street the Black Bayou in New Orleans, man.
So did you have a favorite part of this episode, man?
Everything. It's been a great time. My favorite part, I ain't gonna lie to you, Rudy's gonna be jumping into, getting a palm into the deep end of that door.
Yeah. I'm trying to speed us up now. Nah, but man, everything looks good. We had great hospitality from all your staff. You have a beautiful restaurant. I encourage everybody who check out this episode, either this year, whenever you see Flavor Down South episode, to come by Addis NOLA on Bayou Road. I heard you mention one more thing. I heard you mention a wine. Tell me a little bit about that real quick before we close out.
The Ethiopian honey wine is, in fact, the first wine that ever existed in the face of the earth. It was produced and made by bees in beehives, and that's why I've started to incorporate honey in the cuisine. Beehives that would make honey, and then it would ferment. Over time, it would turn into alcohol. So imagine Winnie the Pooh was sipping that real drink. Any of the settlers or any of the African travelers who were moving across the continent found beehives and found literally vast fermented honey and alcohol. And so this was, as long as bees have been around, which was millions of years, but as long as we've been around, that they can say that we've been drinking this was at least 10,000 years.
Yeah.
We only know white and red and grape wines because that's what the Europeans push.
Right.
But the wine from Africa, from the continent, is in fact Ethiopian honey wine. We're bringing that story to the world. That's
there we go.
That's our next venture.
Flavor
That's what
Down
we
South
get
want
into.
to tell that story for you.
Come on. You know what I mean?
Put it out there.
That's it. Let them know, man. This is one of the greatest things to experience. When you taste it, I'm not just talking that talk. When you taste it, you will be fully immersed into the experience, man.
That's great, man. So look, man, Prince, thank you for your time.
Hell yeah.
And thank you for what you're doing with your family and the sacrifices that you're making to bring this culture to New Orleans. On behalf of, I know, all the foodies and everybody who write about food, we definitely love the opportunity to get to know more about Ethiopian culture. So we look forward to seeing what's next for you guys. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. In future episodes, you will tune in. We share untold stories in the culinary and hospitality industry down south. Remember to subscribe to our podcast and leave us a review. If you enjoy what you hear, we appreciate your support. We look forward to sharing more stories. We want to thank our sponsor, Dave & Buster's out of Houston again, for all their support. If you're looking for a late night happy hour, please visit Dave & Buster's at 7620 Katy Freeway in Houston, Texas. This is Rudy the Foodie. Until next time, I'm out.
Woo! You've been listening to Flavor Down South. Rudy's been in the hospitality industry for over 25 years, and his passion is anything Southern that connects our people. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review, and share it with a friend. Pass it around, and find us on social media. See you next time on Flavor Down South.